that build-up, everyone was talking about the Phantom Menace. And, of course, I remember when the title dropped, and the internet was still in their infancy, and it was like, what's the Phantom Menace? That doesn't sound very Star Wars. What's that?
Well, that was the issue I initially had with the title. Was the Phantom Menace.
The Phantom Menace.
Is
it the Phantom from the comic books, or?
Yeah. Whereas, A New Hope, The Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, just engraved in your psyche.
That's it.
And all of a sudden, there's the Phantom Menace.
That's it.
And what could that mean? I assumed that it was to do with the rise of the Emperor. At the time, and which turned
out to be
pretty correct. But it was just I can remember sitting around with friends and just mulling that over, and all the possibilities of what it could be, and you had that little bit in A New Hope, where Obi-Wan talks to Luke about the Clone Wars. What a great pilot your father was when I first knew him, and all that sort of thing. And so for years I had all this thing in my mind. Oh, how cool would that have been as Anakin and Obi-Wan tearing around the galaxy together in this really cool spacecraft, and just taking no prisoners, and really, really stuff, and really, really cool. So you had all this build up in your head of what you envision the universe to be and what was going to happen. And George's idea obviously is different to what a lot of us had in our heads. And unfortunately, we can't see the movie that we have in our heads, because everybody's movie would be different.
That's it.
And that's the thing. You've just and that's what I say to a lot of people. You've just got to just go with the flow and just take it, and especially that they know what they're doing, and just enjoy it for what it is.
That's it.
That's right. I just I love the whole build-up. I love the whole thing. Like any Star Wars is just great, no matter what. And whatever movie comes out, I'll be there. I'll think it's fantastic.
Well, like I say, back when I saw the Return of the Jedi Special Edition, and all I kept waiting for was that final shot at the end. I'm like, there's all these celebrations, and then that's Coruscant. I can't even pronounce. There's so many ways to pronounce it. Even George pronounced it 2 different ways. But it was like, my God, that place is so cool. And then straight away I went, that's like Ralph McQuarrie's original sketches for the Imperial City. I'm like, wow, he's hearkening back again to Ralph and going back to those sketches, which they're doing now in the films and in the cartoon series. And I think I saw Return of the Jedi Special Edition probably four or five times at this theatre.
Okay.
Purely so because I worked at the cinema, so it cost me 50 cents.
Of course,
50 cents to go to see the movie. And I kept watching that scene again and again. I'm like I'm going to get to go to a new worlds. I'm going to meet these new characters and everything like that. And of course, when the Star Wars website started up, which was around the special edition time, and of course you're looking at all those little sneak peek shots, and they were doing those little announcements. And I remember too when, and I think it was around the time of Phantom Menace, they announced that they were filming episodes 2 and 3 in Australia. And I thought, here's my opportunity to be in a Star Wars film. But of course that didn't happen. And
me too. Yeah, I was like, I'll be filming here, and I'll be in the movie. I'll get my own action figure, and I'll get my own action figure and all that sort of thing. And I thought, well, what great extra value my figure would have, all that extra plastic,
Extra padding plastic in there.
Extra padding, yeah.
But
I still remember. I had a friend. Just quickly, I had a friend at work at the time, and when they were coming out, I was talking and going, it'll be really great. They're filming them in Sydney and all this sort of thing. I could be in the movie and that. And he just looked at me just with this deadpan look and said, "Yes, you could be son of Porkins." Yeah, good on you, mate. Good on you, mate.
You should have slapped him in the face, man.
Yeah.
Tap there. Here's a slap of bacon for you, champion. That's comes straight from the Porkins. But but there were little things. There were a few missteps when that film came out. Like they brought the novelization out early, which gave away the story. But probably the biggest thing was the soundtrack. And for years we've had jokes of Qui-Gon's Noble End. It's like, hopefully there's another Qui-Gon's Noble End on there. And what the Force Awakens learnt very well was when you put out a CD, you don't even put the track listing on the back of the
No, exactly.
back of the packaging, so no one
Yeah.
could leak it. So they were very clever. But I remember when the soundtrack had come out. I think it was a couple of weeks early. I remember buying it.
Me too, yeah.
I bought the CD. I bought the mini disc version, which I used to have
Oh, right.
I have the mini disc version of that soundtrack. I don't have a mini disc player anymore, but I have the mini disc version.
Yeah,
And because I wanted every version that I could get my hands on, and I remember playing the CD and just going, "Wow, this!" Because to me, Johnny, all throughout the films, has always knocked it out of the park on the music. The music for me has been very spot on. He always gets a good theme happening, and I was listening to that soundtrack every night before bed. Going, oh, the Duel of the Fates is so awesome, and this happens and that, and of course, and straight away I thought I'm going into a movie where I know Qui-Gon's going to die.
Yeah.
Which was like, oh, but he'll be a Force ghost, and that never happened. And so
I heard his voice, but
we've heard his voice, but but there was all those things, and I just remember every night listening to that soundtrack. I did read the book before I saw the movie, so I knew. So I saw the story, and I was thinking, yeah, but the thing is, though, visually seeing it is going to be completely different. And for me, it was that experience. Yeah. There was still the surprise, and of course, Jar Jar comes across very different in the book in comparison to film. And of course, so does Anakin and Obi-Wan and that. But like when I walked out of that first screening, I was thinking, Ewan McGregor, like as Obi-Wan Kenobi. I thought he did a great job, but I was like going, I just wish he had some more meat in his dialogue, And I still think he did a tremendous job as Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I'm hoping to see him in a future film, hopefully. And
me too.
But I will never forget that moment, knowing about the prequels and that it's just that day at home, and then reading it online and just going, there are more Star Wars films. And I remember my mum mentioned it when she got home, and she's like, have you heard the news? Are you really excited? And I'm like, is it the Star Wars films? And she's like, you must be really excited,
Yep.
She goes, but you don't really care for it anymore, do you, though? You don't have any of your toys. And I went, that never ended. Like, I still love Star Wars, don't get me wrong, because I had bought the widescreen VHS tapes, and I'd also been bought all the special edition soundtracks, which was the first time we ever got the complete scores, so to speak, and alternative cues for the music. So, Star Wars was creeping back in a huge way, and of course I had started to rebuy the toys and Episode 1, and we had to move to a bigger house so I could put them somewhere. So, because we lived in a little apartment, so... But that build up, but it was so nice to be able to go to work and working at a cinema, and you're having people going, oh, so there, and there's the Episode 1 banner, and we actually had people try to steal that at Toombul to the point where one of the managers chased someone as they were dragging it out, because it was just held up with Velcro on the back of it.
Yeah.
And everyone wanted it. Any point of sale material was huge because it was not readily available to anyone else.
Yeah,
and we had people offering the poster, $100, $200. And I have to say, I managed to get a poster, the teaser and the theatrical, but not knowing what I was doing, I block mounted both of them. Which they trim the poster down, and of course they stick it on the board. I could always say that's an original theatrical poster that's been block mounted. I know that it is. But when I got to Revenge of the Sith, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to block mount this poster. I'm going to keep it so I can frame it. And I've done that with the Force Awakens and with Rogue One. So I've managed to secure posters, which has been very cool. But I just remember that, seeing that poster when that came in and being put up and going, man, to me, the Phantom Menace teaser poster is probably the greatest Star Wars poster out of all of them. For me, it is, because it has so much going on, but there's so little detail going on as well at the same time. You've got Anakin with the shadow of Vader on the sand, and for me, that is just awesome. Before that, my favorite one was the basic lightsaber for Return of the Jedi with the Death Star with the two hands. And I thought, once again, something very simplistic, not a lot going on, but there is a lot going on. And that Phantom Menace poster for me is probably the best or the greatest Star Wars poster that's ever been put out, just purely because of its simplicity. And
Oh, it just promised so much as well. I mean,
it did.
The story was right there, just in that one image.
Yeah.
And that's what they've always, Star Wars, has always been brilliant at doing, is just portraying, very cleverly portraying, just through very simple sort of imagery, the anticipation and just the whole picture really.
Yeah.
So no, I can understand that.
No, but yeah, look, I hope that I get to have that same I can't really replicate that same experience because I've lived it now, which is really tough.
That's right.
But I'm living it through watching my son, and his reactions can be a little bit different. I remember when we saw The Force Awakens, the first thing he said to me was, "So can we go and buy a toy from the movie?" And I thought, hang on, I think that sounds familiar. That sounds like something I would say. Let's go get a toy. And I thought, oh no, he's his father's son, thank God.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, it's so weird building up now to a film.
Yeah.
But I always look back at the Phantom Menace with like really strong feelings. It's something, once again, I wish I had it documented in some way, shape or form. I wish I had taken photos or video or something. Once again, I wasn't thinking about that sort of thing. And and now, though, I have that ability. That's a beautiful thing with technology over time. I'm sure there is people who lived through the 70s, and there were some people that had cameras and all that back then who took photos and stills, but who would be killing to go back and get those snapshots from history and go, I was at Man's Chinese Theatre, or here I am with toys, because I get very jealous, especially I think it's a lot of people in the US. I see photos of them with their toys and and video footage, because the old handreel sort of videos things that they used or whatever, and going, wow, I wish I had that, and I'm so blessed that I have 3 Polaroid pictures of me as a child with some of my very first Star Wars toys, and I'm thinking that to me they're worth more than the toy that's pictured, because I can look back and go, that was the first time, that was really special. And and like I say, with Phantom Menace, I wish I had done that, but I'm doing it now, and but I'll always have that memory, and I can always tell the story.